Also, a quick question.
Yeah,
Nowadays, the screen, right? In fact, this a home screen, when
yeah,
when it was a green in color with the
yeah,
way it's displayed,
yeah,
um, this is different from the way it you showed last week. I mean, let's say the environment that was there and that icons that were displayed were a different color, right?
yeah. So
So I know initially what it was like that, and then recently when I took again this environment, I saw this green color one, and I was confused. I said, "Why the heck is it looking like this?"
yeah, so so basically this is theme that is being given based on the sandbox configuration. So we have
Okay.
two things. So one is sandbox configuration, and another thing is page composer. So page composer is basically used to personalize our pages.
Mm-hmm.
So there we have set of themes. So if we want to use our own theme, we can use it. And apart
Okay.
from that, if we wanted to hide any specific column or if we wanted to have the specific format in the screen, so that we can have it.
Mm-hmm.
So this we
Okay.
call the page composer. So this page
Okay.
composer is part of the sandbox configuration. So since they have
Okay.
selected this theme and this way of looking the landing page, so we are
Uh-huh.
seeing this green color and all those things.
Okay, but normally when let's say if the first time you're given an instance, it is like the way it was displayed last week.
Yeah,
Okay. So yesterday what we did was the conversion rates, and today what we're doing is the daily rates.
yeah, we did daily rate, but it has been refreshed actually. So I'm just recreating it.
Okay. Oh, recreating it. Okay. Can we just type it in that one, or we have to select through the drop down only?
Yeah, we have to select road drop. We don't have typing functionality here.
Oh, okay. So the from conversion is a date. Okay.
Yes, correct. So if we click here, we will have it.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah. So we have loaded this daily rate.
Mhm. So when you say daily rate, right? So it when you gave that year, like Jan 1st to December 31st, so it creates for every single day in the year
Yes, correct.
at a rate of 70. Okay.
Yes.
So when do we actually set this currency rate?
Currency rate, so it depends on the rate type that we use. So if we are using spot, maybe it will be based on the rate change. Whereas
Okay.
the corporate is the standard rate, which will apply across the period. Maybe at least a month it will be having a specific rate. And if it is user defined, which means user can change it anytime.
Anytime. Okay. But if you're using the corporate, it is set for whatever dates you chose.
Yeah.
Okay. But how do companies usually do it? Do they use the corporate?
Corporate, I mean, that depends on the region of the client. So let's take the Middle East. So mostly they will use corporate since the rate
Hmm.
for USD and the other currencies are fixed already. So like for
Okay.
USD, it will be 3.75. So
Okay.
similarly for the other currencies as well. But whereas for US and India cases, it will be
Hmm.
spot rate. So where
Okay.
we will have the rates different each based on the change in the currency.
Okay. When you
But
say
mostly,
spot rate, right?
yeah,
Um, so it is going to take the current whatever the rate is.
yeah, we will have to load it again.
So you have to load it every day. Let's assume it's changing every day. Today it is 73, whatever,
Yeah,
0.62 something, let's assume. And tomorrow it's 71.45 or something. So then if you're using the spot, you have to change it every single day.
yeah,
And then if that's the case, and when you're loading it, right? So you're using the same spreadsheet, and instead of corporate where you said the corporate word, instead you will say spot.
yeah. We will just say spot. But in real time, what will happen is that we will have the web services for this. So this
Oh,
services will basically update it because every day, if we are loading it, so that is additional human effort. So
uh-huh, yeah.
yeah, so instead, what we will do is that we will have the web services developed. So based
Hmm.
on that, we will automate this process.
Okay.
Or else it will be like daily activity, and we need a special resource to be allocated only for this purpose.
Okay.
But mostly it will be corporate. Like I have seen more cases using the corporate rate.
Hmm.
So if we see here, so this is user defined. So I
Hmm.
can just give the
Hmm.
rate straight away here, or I can select the corporate that we defined it. So this will be
Okay.
picked by the system. Whereas here I will not be able to edit this, but in user I
Hmm.
can edit it.
Okay. How come this KKK didn't get wiped out when yours got wiped out?
Yeah, I mean, I created it yesterday. So we have,
Oh, you had to redo everything?
yes,
Oh, dang. So you're doing this, and I mean, like every week, and you're expert.
no option actually. We need to create like for our setup, starting from GL, API.
Oh boy. So in sleep also, if I say wake up, Arun, tell me what's coming next, you'll tell. But at least for people like us, right? It's a good thing that we can practice it more.
Yeah, we will have it in our mind anytime.
I know after a certain point it becomes tedious.
Yeah,
But can't you save this somewhere and export it and import it or something like that?
yeah, we have option. We have option to
Instead
export
of
it.
recreating everything, I mean, like, even your test instance one,
Yeah,
you can't do those, right? But setups, basic setups, you have to do no matter what.
yeah, like setups we can export it, and when the
Mm.
instance is refreshed, we can import it. We have that option.
So why can't you do that then?
No, I can do that. The thing is that few things will be different here, what I have, and
Okay.
the other part is that we will not know that exact date, like this date, it is going to be refreshed. So immediately there will be a performance issue. So if there is some
Oh,
performance issue, they might trigger this refresh activity.
oh dang. Then so I better finish my things fast. Now only I'm struggling with just the first steps. If they keep on doing that, I'll be like, okay, last where did mine go?
Okay. So I created one foreign currency journal entry. So maybe
Mm-hmm.
let me try to run the translation process for this journal entry. So the navigation would be so
Okay.
from the dashboard. So I mean, we
Mm-hmm.
will click the dashboard.
Mm-hmm.
So from here we will select the right path, and here we will have the revaluation or the translation. So let's try to run the translate balance for this one.
Okay. How is this different from the journals thing that you have and the what do you call your home page, right? When you go there, you have journals, um, and you
Yeah,
have general ledger dashboard. When you clicked on general ledger dashboard, you have the actions or whatever the menu on the sidebar, which
yeah,
has manage journals and create journal and everything.
yeah,
But when you go to the journals itself, I think you have run auto post or whatever, right? Yesterday I
yeah.
was seeing some of the additional ones.
Yes.
So that's the only difference. I mean, like the functions that are available are different.
Yes, only few changes. Like here, if you see, we will have the other reporting things as well. Like we can do the inquire and analyze the balance, and we have
Mm-hmm.
the closed monitor. And apart from that, we will have the revaluation, translation, and maybe we can close or open the periods. So these are the additional things. And apart
Okay.
from that, there are few options like allocation and spreadsheet. This thing, the other options will not be there. So this is for especially for the period close activities and the
Is
reporting
this
aspect of
is
it.
yeah, is this specific to a role?
Yeah, since I have given the manager role, so I'm having this option. But apart
Okay.
from that, for any role, I'll have the screen, but these
Hmm.
options I will not have.
Yeah, that's why I
Yeah,
wanted to
yeah,
understand. Uh-huh.
yeah. So this is based on the role.
So if let's say you said you have the whatever general ledger account manager, is that the
Yeah,
role?
yeah, accounting manager.
Accounting manager role. What are the other roles in that? I mean,
So
apart from the manager role?
yeah, so we have general accountant, we have general
Mhm.
accounting manager, and then we have financial analyst.
Okay. So what's the difference between the financial analyst and the general accountant, if you don't mind me asking?
Yeah, so there will be a mild difference. Like for example, if you see the period opening, the period closure thing. So
Uh-huh.
basically, finance analyst will have access to it, and general accountant will not have access to it. And
Okay.
financial, yeah. Similarly, we have the other functionalities as well for the creation of journals and importing it. So it is only at the level of access, like a few will be there in the financial analyst and few will not be there in the general accountant, vice versa.
Okay. So when you look at the hierarchy of roles, let's assume,
Okay.
so is the functional analyst above the general accountant, or the general accountant and financial analyst are fall in the same level?
Okay, this is
In the
not,
sense like the reason why I'm asking is I'm just trying to figure out sometimes you some of the responsibilities or some of the functions may be lower level, let's say clerk.
yeah,
He may not have everything, all the functions to do, right?
yeah,
And then somebody above him may have few more functions or functionalities that he can do. So
yeah,
that's why I was asking.
yeah. So basically, sequence is something like this. So we have general accounting manager at top. Below
Hmm.
that, we will have the general accountant. Below that, we
Okay.
will have the financial analyst.
Analyst. Okay. Yeah,
But
got it.
between general accountant and the financial analyst, we will not have more differentiation.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
only part why I'm keeping it at bottom is that we have few roles more than financial analyst to the general accountant. Like if you
Okay.
see here, so here we don't have much options. And
Hmm.
again, this one, the revaluation and this things, we don't have this for the general accountant. So
Oh, okay.
hierarchically speaking, these are the three sequences that we have: manager,
Okay.
accountant, and then financial analyst.
Okay.
The financial analyst role will be more of an what do we call the period and closure and related to those activities. So when we are closing the
Okay.
period, so basically we will
Uh-huh.
have to do certain activities like the translation and moving the balance from one ledger to the other ledger if we are having the ledger set or the consolidated
Uh-huh.
financial statements and
Okay.
do the reconciliation. So for the reconciliation, he will maybe check the analyze the balance. So these are the
Hmm.
things that he will be doing. And on the other side, we have the general accountant. So basically,
Okay.
he will be doing day-to-day activities of creation of the journal entries and the other things.
Okay. So I have a question here again, sorry.
Yeah.
So the ones that you described, right? That is the roles that are done on the business side, right? I mean, when I say businesses, functional people who are there, who do the day-to-day activities on the
Okay.
business side is I mean, they are the ones that do all this. Let's say the manager or the functional analyst or the accountant. What does, let's say, a functional consultant like you
Oh,
on an IT, on the IT side
okay.
do when the rest of them are done by the functional people, right? What is your role?
So this you are asking during implementation or after implementation?
Let's say during implementation is one. thing. And then even for support also, right?
Yeah,
Let's say you are the financial functional consultant that they've hired, but
okay.
they have people who do the regular month end close and all the daily activities and everything, and they have a manager who takes care of everything also.
Yeah.
So you are the functional consultant. Apart from, let's say, enhancements or something that they require, what else do you do if you are there on the project?
Yeah. So basically, we will support one thing is day-to-day activities. So apart from
Mhm.
that, the major activity would be the period closure. This thing. So
Okay.
during period closure, we might or mostly we will get a lot of exceptions in the period closure activity. So
Okay.
whether on those decisions,
Hmm.
business might need a functional consultant support.
Okay.
Either it could be a data fix, or it could
Mhm.
be a smaller solution or the suggestion, or maybe
Okay.
before business starts closure.
Uh-huh.
So we need to take care of the exceptions. In this telecom sector, I worked on this thing. So where
Uh-huh.
we have it for the entire Africa continent. So where
Okay.
we will have to run it on the last evening and check
Hmm.
for the exception. So before the next day
Uh-huh.
morning business starts the actual closure, so we will
Hmm.
have to correct all those exceptions and we will have to clean the system and make it available for the immediate closure. So all the
Okay.
operating unit or the across the ledgers,
Hmm.
it will be went as a what do you call the seamless thing. So it is
Hmm.
based on the consent. So we have something called to trigger this closure activity. So it will
Hmm.
happen automatically. So in order to have this, we should clear
Hmm.
all those exceptions. So this will be done by the functional consultant, but not the business. So again, this is
Okay.
not mandatory to have only by the functional consultant. It
Yeah,
can
yeah.
be
Uh-huh.
handled by business as well. So business can check and business can come back. So it
Okay.
depends. And apart from
Okay.
that, few other assistants also will be required in some cases.
Okay.
Like for example, in AP, I have created an invoice and I have
Hmm.
reversed it, and again I created a line there, and again I have reversed it. So
Hmm.
there I'll have a lock inside this accounting entry. So when I'm trying to
Hmm.
process this entry, system will say that this is an invalid this thing, and online validation is not possible since the sequence is not being followed. So in this
Okay.
case, again, a functional consultant role will be there. So similarly,
Okay.
this kind of
So you
things,
have to go research and find
yes,
out where the issue is.
yes, correct.
Okay.
So these
Got
things, business will not have much awareness. So that
it.
is
Okay.
where functional consultant role will come in.
Okay. Yeah. Thanks for the clarification.
Yeah, yeah.
Do we have to set that up or something?
Yeah, maybe I'll check the daily rate.
Try to reduce the volume. What's the checkbox that says exclude rate or amount of zero?
Just 1 minute.
Yeah.
Yeah, here, right?
Uh-huh. What does that mean?
Like if you wanted to avoid the rates that have the zero value, so zero value is not going to give us any difference. So if you wanted to exclude those things, so it will be excluded.
Okay. So when you are looking for something like this, this screen, right? When you added, you selected the KK ledger and the Indian rupee and all that, is it creating here or is it what's it doing in this on the screen?
Yeah,
Historical rates.
yeah, we are creating the similar
We are
process
creating.
like we create in spreadsheet.
Okay. So what's the reason for creating historical rates?
So historical rate is for mostly for the translation.
Okay.
So other one is that for the conversion and the other things.
Okay. Daily
So
rate is for conversion.
yeah, conversion is something it will happen in the field. Like when you are creating the transaction, so
Hmm.
we will see the entered amount and the accounted amount. So accounted is something it will convert to USD and it will give us the rate. But
Okay.
whereas this one is for the translation and the other process.
Okay. Hmm, it's not coming.
I'll do one thing. I'll check this one. I don't know if some setup is missing.
Okay,
I'll
not a
check this part. So we will start the budget.
okay.
So we'll try to complete that one. So
Yeah.
tomorrow we will complete the currency and currency related concepts.
Okay, not a problem. A question for you, Arun.
Yeah.
When we create, let's assume I'm creating the enterprise structure from the start,
Okay.
okay, from the beginning. So when I do that, and of course, let's say this environment already has, an enterprise structure loaded.
Okay.
Okay, and mine I can't load because somebody else has already loaded it.
Okay.
So when we go ahead and do these setups, right,
Yeah.
based on the enterprise structure that I created,
Yes.
will we able to do the transactions and everything else even if it
Uh,
is not loaded?
I mean, you are asking for the enterprise structure or the financial aspect of it.
Let's say the financial aspect of it,
Yeah,
because
that
let's
we
say
can see.
okay, because let's say I have created a company, in the sense, I've created a company which, and the ledger that I've created is also related to that company that I've created, but
Okay.
that is not loaded. And of course the setups and everything is based on our ledger and all that, right?
Yeah.
So I was just wondering, does it impact?
No, like the impact level would be less.
I
I
mean, impact in the sense, like, can we use the setups that we create for this enterprise that we haven't loaded?
That's what only the enterprise name we cannot create it because enterprise can be only one institution. But
Yes.
apart from that, the other structure, whatever we are deciding it, so that we can very well set up.
Okay. So let's say the company UHI is your company, right? You've created United whatever Health Insurance Limited.
Yeah.
So that company, and that company is the enterprise structure we've created based on that company with divisions and whatnot, let's assume.
Okay.
And then you started creating a ledger, you started creating chart of accounts based on that structure,
Okay.
on that whole thing. But since your enterprise is not loaded, let's say your main enterprise is United Health Insurance or whatever, and it has not been loaded, will it still work as expected when you do all your transactions and everything else.
I mean, you're saying about the chart of accounts.
Yes, chart of accounts, or even your journals or whatnot. Let's say at the transaction level when you start creating, right?
Yeah.
Since your enterprise is not part of, it's not loaded in the sense like we already have somebody else's. Like
o-
let's assume KK is the one that is loaded.
Okay. So
So
you're
you
asking, can
unite.
we, yeah, you're asking, can we use the already existing one, or can we create ours again? Is what your question is.
So I know we've created one. Let's assume because this is our test environment.
Yeah.
Okay, KK is the one that has been loaded.
Okay.
Let's assume that's the loaded one.
Okay.
And United Health Insurance is something that I created.
Okay.
Okay. And then we started doing, let's say we did all the setups that we did so far.
Okay.
Now, that will everything work in terms of, my transactions? If I create, if I run my reports, everything will work, or it won't work because this enterprise has not been loaded.
The chart of
KK is the
accounts.
one. Yes, the KK one is the loaded one, but my ledger, everything is based on this United Health Insurance. Will it still work?
No. If we don't have the chart of accounts that we have loaded already, which means we don't have our ledger. So
Okay.
again, we need to create our ledger. So ledger, when we are creating it, whether we are using the existing KK or we are using our own chart of accounts. So which means we need to redo the entire exercise.
We have to redo the ledger part.
Yeah, ledger and all the configuration. So we cannot, I mean, in the sense, we can use KK as an
Mm-hmm.
this thing. If you see, I have only one user. With
Mm-hmm.
that, I'm using the KK part. So only thing I
Yes.
need to do is that I need to assign this KK development the configuration to my
Uh-huh.
user so that I can utilize this. So where I'm
Okay.
using this is that I have something called assign roles to the user. So where basically
Okay.
there are two kind of setups. So the first setup would be to attach the role to the user. So once I
Mm-hmm.
attach the role to the user, what I will do is that I will attach the business unit to the user where I attach the role. So which means
Okay.
I'm giving access to the KK business unit or the KK ledger instead of giving
Mm-hmm.
access to the UHI. So
Okay.
this way I can utilize this. But if I wanted to utilize only UHI, then I need to redo the configuration since I don't have chart of account structure. So without structure, we will not be able to create the ledger. So that is mandatory.
Okay. No, 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 I get that. What I don't understand is, I mean, where I'm getting confused a little bit is like, I understand we are creating yesterday, let's say till until yesterday, you had chart of accounts created for UHI.
Okay.
Okay. And you had every other configuration for your company, which is for your ledger. And I mean, your ledger, everything is based on that United Health Insurance.
Okay.
Okay. But let's assume HCM has created KK Enterprise and they have uploaded that. They have loaded that configuration.
Okay.
So can our United Health ledger, I mean, ledger and the chart of accounts, everything else work even if KK is the enterprise structure that has been loaded
Yeah, that
in the
shouldn't be
system?
a problem because we already mapped with the ledger called UHI. So again,
Okay.
adding a second chart of account, it shouldn't be an issue.
Okay.
Because if
Okay.
you
That was
see,
my question.
yeah, because if you see the initial design when we are speaking about the design and the other aspects. So
Mm-hmm.
we spoke about this thing called maintaining the different chart of account for different countries. So even if it is for the different countries, since this is in the cloud environment, so I will
Mm-hmm.
not have it in the different instance. So instance is only one. So under the same instance, I have
Mm-hmm.
three chart of accounts. So one is for US
Mm-hmm.
and the other one is for India and the other one is for this one Oman.
Okay.
So I have three chart of accounts created. So in this three chart of accounts, I might use maybe one chart of accounts for US and I mean not US, India and Singapore, and I
Mm-hmm.
might use another chart of accounts for this one Qatar and Oman. So which means
Mm-hmm.
when I say chart of account for both these things, I'm utilizing instance chart of account instance, so I can make use of it. Like I have 10 segments, I'm taking
Mm-hmm.
5 for maybe Qatar and 5 for Oman. So
Okay.
similarly, I can have it. So I can have even 3 or 4 chart of accounts as well. So for the same organization. But the
Okay.
enterprise structure will be same. So there is a difference between enterprise structure and the chart of account structure. So chart of account structure is for the purpose of accounting and how do we want to see our accounting information or how do we want to represent the transaction that we are creating in the subledger. But whereas
Okay.
the enterprise structure is something how our organization as a whole will look like.
Okay.
So for example, I have let's take Honeywell as an example. So
Mm-hmm.
Honeywell as a whole, it is named as an Honeywell Group. So which
Mm-hmm.
means our enterprise is Honeywell Group. So
Mm-hmm.
under this, we have few divisions. So we have
Mm-hmm.
a manufacturing unit only for the sensors and the other artificial intelligent equipment. And we
Mm-hmm.
have another section, maybe the wiring and the other things. So similarly, we
Mm-hmm.
have different line of business. So we are
Mm-hmm.
segregating. So
Mm-hmm.
again, here under this division, we have certain activities handled in US. We have certain activities handled in Singapore, and we have
Mm-hmm.
certain activities handled in Indochina. So which
Mm-hmm.
means this is a manufacturing hub. So inside
Mm-hmm.
this manufacturing hub,
Mm-hmm.
so when I say India, China, so maybe the manufacturing unit is in either India or China. So it is
Mm-hmm.
being transported from China to India when they get the order. So they
Mm-hmm.
don't have the actual manufacturing in India, but we have it in China. So from
Mm-hmm.
this hub, we have been transporting to the different locations as per the order. So similarly
Okay.
for the Singapore. So here in this case,
Mm-hmm.
my structure would be Honeywell Group, and under that I have the division, and under that I have different countries. So for
Mm-hmm.
each country, I will have specific ledger, and for each ledger, I'll have the chart of account instance. So
Mm.
similarly for the each country, so I can have multiple structures for the chart of account instance, and I can do transaction against each chart of account instance attached to the ledger.
Okay. Okay. Now it makes more sense to me. Yeah. Good. Good that you expanded on that, because I never even realized that it didn't even strike in my head that I could have multiple chart of account structures.
We can
I
say.
thought for one one place it is like so one setup is done, that's it. I didn't think that each place had you could do separate for each ledger. That didn't even strike. Now that you're talking, it makes more sense.
Yeah, that is possible. So that's what that depends on our requirement basically. So
Okay.
so that's what. So based on the compliance and the other things, basically we will segregate based on the countries.
Okay.
But it is client's decision whether they wanted to have different ledgers and the different chart of accounts, or if we
Mm-hmm.
wanted to have the same. I mean, as a one. So where we will have this decision is that in terms of consolidation. So when it comes to consolidation, so how are we going to handle this? Is the question.
Uh-huh.
So we have different options whether to transfer to the parent ledger and have this, or whether we are going to use this as an secondary ledger. So this needs to be decided. So based on that,
Okay.
they will decide whether they wanted to have the different chart of accounts for each country, or they will
Mm-hmm.
maintain one chart of account and maybe different ledgers. That is possible.
Okay.
So we can have one chart of accounts assigned to the multiple ledger, and we can
Mm-hmm.
create multiple chart of account and assign it to the each ledger.
Okay.
Yeah,
So let a quick question again here, sorry.
yeah,
So when you create a chart of accounts and you create your structure and then you create the instance, and as you said, your instance you can pick what you want, what segments you want, right?
yes.
Let's say you have 5 or 6 or 10, and then you just pick let's say three are required and the rest of them are like it's not required.
Okay.
So how do you create multiple instances?
Multiple instances in the sense you are saying about the Fusion application
Yeah,
or
yeah,
chart of
Fusion.
accounting.
In chart of accounts, can you create
Yeah, yeah.
multiple?
Yes, we can create multiple instances. So I'll just show like how we will create multiple instances.
Uh-huh. Because I
Uh,
was reading through that document also the other day, and I was thinking, how do you create multiple? I first I didn't understand. When today I understood that okay, when you click, you can check and make it required and not required, right?
yeah,
So that made sense to me. But then I was thinking, how do you create multiple? So.
yeah. I'll just show here.
Mhm,
So here I have four segments inside
mhm.
this.
Yeah.
So inside this, maybe let me decide that I don't want to have the intercompany segment for the
Mhm.
new ledger.
Yes.
So in this case, what I can do is that I can assign only the three segments to the instance. So
Mhm.
what I will do is that I'll just add new,
Mhm.
and here maybe I'll say UHI
Mhm.
and new instance, whatever
Mhm.
the naming convention you wanted to use. I'll just
Okay.
take this one,
Mhm.
and I'll select the chart of accounts.
Mhm.
So here by default it will be not required. I mean this will
Mhm.
be disabled. So in this case for company what I'll do is that I'll assign it since I need this, and for department and account as well.
Mhm.
But when it comes to the intercompany account, so I don't
Mhm.
want to use this. So what I will
Mhm.
do is that I'll give default type as a constant. So
Okay.
here what I'll give is that not used maybe.
Okay. So it's a
So
free form.
yeah, yes,
Okay.
correct, free from. So basically system will automatically pick this value when I'm trying to do this, I'm picking the account code combination. So
Mhm.
system will directly pick this, the default value that we are giving it here.
Okay.
So this way we are avoiding this particular segment and we are
Mhm.
utilizing only company, department and account.
Okay. Oh, and when you attach that instance to the ledger, you can attach what instance you want to the
Yes,
ledger.
yes, correct.
So, but can you attach two instances to the same ledger?
No, two instance we cannot attach because we will have option to attach only one, which is
One.
kind of
Okay. One is to
LL.
one. Okay.
Yes,
Yeah. Thank you.
yeah.
Sorry, I'm trying to make sense of the things that you're
Yeah,
teaching me.
yeah,
So,
it's fine.
so
Yeah, if any other clarification we can take, uh, or else we can continue in the next class because it's almost
Yeah, that's
8:40.
fine. That's
So
fine. I mean, I haven't done actually. When I start doing the setups, that's when I'll actually get the
yeah, yeah,
questions. So that's why I just started today. So I thought I'll just start off and and I'm taking screenshots and putting them so that it'll become easier for me.
yeah, yeah,
Let's say when we go down and it's like too much to, I can't relate to what is happening.
yeah,
I can't go through every single day that recording, right?
yes,
Later.
yes,
So that's why I was thinking I'll just put the screenshots and see which makes sense to me.
yes, yes.
So,
So that's what.
and I mean,
Yeah,
yeah.
yes, yes,
So I know this, but when you got this up, it made more sense to me when you were talking about how the structures are and all that. So yeah.
yes.
So I think I'll just follow what you did so far with the way you did it. But then I think after that first initial go is done and I have my initial steps, I'll probably start with the enterprise structure creation and then see how complicated it gets.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's why
Because,
if you see in this the Excel sheet what I shared to you, so
uh-huh,
so basically I have given the practice activity. So inside the practice activity, so if you see, so I have
uh-huh.
mentioned design chart of account. So earlier to this, so I even mentioned the structure design. So I
Hmm.
just
You
removed.
shared this one? Did you share this document?
Yeah, this is the one I shared.
Oh, okay, I didn't check it yet. Okay.
Yeah. So earlier to this, so I kept even the enterprise structure design and all those things, so that we
Uh-huh.
will have a hold like what are we actually trying to achieve here, or what are we trying to implement as a whole.
Yes,
So
yes.
yeah. So basically, the process will start from here. So we will first try to understand the client organization structure. So how do they
Mm-hmm.
manage and how do they manage their business, and what are the
Mm-hmm.
locations they are into? Like in our case, they are into US, India, Oman, Qatar, and
Mm-hmm.
Singapore.
Hey,
So
I'm trying to come up with this one. See if it makes sense. Can
yeah,
you put that on the on your Excel?
yeah,
So I'm creating, let's say, Tata Corporation as
okay,
the first one, enterprise structure.
okay,
Okay, the first step.
okay,
Um, and then under that, I'll have two divisions.
okay,
Um, Tata Motors
okay,
and Tata Steel.
okay,
Okay.
okay,
And then I will have what's the next one? Is it legal entities, right?
yeah,
So I'll have Tata India and Tata USA under
okay,
Motors. Tata Motors, I'll have two.
okay,
Tata India and Tata USA.
okay,
Okay. Uh, and then under steel also same thing. Tata Steel India and Tata Steel US.
okay,
Okay. And then under that, under the legal entities, I'll have business units.
yeah,
One is Tata India Motor Rally or whatever, whichever makes sense.
okay,
To- Tata India Motors LE. Oh no, not LE. It's like the business unit, right?
yeah,
Yeah, business unit. And then I'll have one for US.
okay. And I think we missed ledger.
Something is missing. That's why I want to put it in this sense so that I know what exactly I'm missing. So the other thing also same thing for Tata Steel,
Okay,
two business units.
okay.
I think I missed something. Mm. I think the first one, I think the one that is above this business unit, no, I should first create legal entity about this,
Yeah.
right?
So yeah. So before this, we will have the ledger. So so here, if you see, we have division. So under division, we will have the ledger created. So ledger
Mm.
will be either we are creating it for India separately and USA separately, or we are maintaining with the same ledger, or how do we want it to have? So that we will decide it. So after having this, so we will decide on the legal entity part. So,
Okay.
so once the legal entity is decided, so we will decide that under this particular legal entity, so how many
Hmm.
business unit do we wanted to have it? So maybe one, two, three, anything, any count. So then
Okay.
we will have the business unit created.
So does this make sense? Only thing is I have to add under motors where that is like a ledger I have to add.
Yes,
But the structure is good enough, right?
yes, yes.
So, okay. So then I have to. So I can have multiple ledgers or I can have a single ledger for. Can
Yes.
I have a single ledger for both the divisions?
No,
Is it possible?
no, that is not possible. So it is division specific actually.
Okay. So if in this case, at the least, I should have two ledgers,
Yes,
one for
correct.
motors and one for steel.
Yes, correct.
Okay. Okay. And I think Tata India on the top, if you put LE, then it'll make more sense to me.
Okay.
So that I know it's a legal entity and I don't mess up.
Yeah,
And yeah. And above that, just put ledger so that I don't miss that also.
yeah.
Ledger, one for motors and one for steel. Okay. So when I create the ledger here for motor and steel, right, that becomes my primary ledger.
Yes, correct.
So if I have to create a secondary ledger or a whatever
Yeah.
reporting, what was the other one? Reporting, right?
Yeah,
Uh,
reporting ledger or the secondary ledger.
Secondary ledger is the one that has difference in what do you call the
The
accrual.
yeah, it could be accrual, it could be chart of accounts, or it could be calendar.
Any one, any of the out of the four C's, anything can change for
Yeah,
secondary.
yes, three actually.
And
So anyway, we have reporting ledger, so we can utilize currency there.
okay, okay. So for now, this is my basic structure I'm thinking.
Okay.
So so you want me to start off with the enterprise creation first?
Enterprise, it will not be possible since it can be only one, and in this instance already there are uh,
Yeah, that's why I was asking.
yeah, so
Okay.
we cannot create this actually.
So what I can do is I can only start from
Ledger,
ledger.
yes,
Okay. Okay.
and we will also decide on the COA part, like how do we want it to have
Yeah.
one chart of
Oh,
accounts for both the ledger, or we wanted to have different.
oh, so you said I can have chart of accounts. Chart of accounts also should be, they cannot be the same for both divisions or they can be same.
No, chart of accounts, it's not division specific. We don't have any dependency there. So we can
Okay.
attach, since it is related to the ledger, we can have one chart of account or chart of account instance. We
Hmm.
can attach one instance to both the ledger as well.
Okay. Okay. Oh boy, that's getting complicated. So what I'll do is first I'll just go with what you taught me so far.
Okay.
Okay, so I will first put that together so that that will make sense to me. And then once I have that, then I'll start with this complication of more legal entities, business units, and then dividing it so that
Okay.
that'll make, I mean, if I start off with complicated ones, I'll get confused. So, I'll keep that to the side and I'll start doing the rest. So I'm at the setup of COA, so I'll still have to do the rest. Okay.
Yeah. So once this is decided, then we will have some chart of account. Maybe I'll send you the sample files for the chart of account values,
Uh-huh.
or else it will take a lot of time to get to a point in the chart of account values. So I'll just
Yeah,
send
yeah.
for the account. So we will have it only for the other segment. So for the account, I'll just share the sheet, the
Hmm.
sample sheet that I have.
Yeah, yeah. That's what I asked actually. That was the sheet I asked. Then yeah, yeah. I think that's it. Yeah. Oh boy, need to focus on this first. Let me get your setups first done, and then I'll understand more.
Okay.
And when you start off tomorrow, right, on the budgeting, can you give me more in the sense like concept wise why we do budgeting
Yes, yes,
uh,
that
on
we
all
will
that?
start.
Because I
Yes.
have zero knowledge about that, so I've never touched a general ledger
Yeah, yeah.
in my entire things.
Yes, yes. We will
Yeah.
start with basically the difference between budget and encumbrance, and
Uh-huh.
we will try to understand with few examples.
Okay. Yeah. I think that's it for me. I don't have any more questions for now,
Okay.
so we can start tomorrow with the rest.
Yeah, fine. So tomorrow we'll start with budget. So
Okay.
after budget is done, then maybe we will check the currency part.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
Thank you, Arun.
yeah. Thank you.